Hello and welcome to the Safe Space exercise. During this recording, I will take you through a couple of steps to increase your mindfulness skills. As part of this exercise, we'll use those mindfulness skills to slowly induct ourselves into a small hypnosis called the Safe Space exercise. The first thing that I will ask you to do is simply find the most comfortable place that you can find wherever you are. Preferably that would be a couch or maybe even a bed. And what I want you to think about your number one task right now is being as comfortable and relaxed as you can possibly be. If that means laying down on your couch or laying down on your bed, that would be preferable. If it would be sitting upright, but with your hands down on the couch or on your lap and your head supported by a pillow, that could also be it. If you need a bit of time to get ready, you can just pause this recording. If you're in the process of being ready and you feel like you can be ready pretty fast, you can just continue preparing while you're listening for my introduction. What we will be doing initially here is activating the vagus nerve. The vagus nerve activates the parasympathetic nervous system, which is in control of relaxing our bodies, making us calm, reducing cortisol and adrenaline in our bodies, and overall make us relaxed. It is incredibly important that our nervous system can be activated during times of danger, and that is why we have the sympathetic nervous system. But in the society that we're living in today, where work stress is almost more of a rule than the exception, it is also important that we know how to activate our parasympathetic nervous system and thereby deactivating our sympathetic nervous system manually. One of the easiest ways to activate the vagus nerve is by doing deep breathing exercises. There's a good chance that you have already tried this, but hopefully with the instructions that I will be giving here today, you'll be able to make that exercise a little bit stronger. When we talk about deep breathing, I find it helpful to think about your lungs being separated into three different sections. The bottom of the belly, which is located just below your navel, and then the middle of your lungs, or the middle of your stomach, which is between the navel and the solar plexus, and then the top of the lungs, which is above the solar plexus. When we're doing the breathing exercises, it can be helpful to think about first filling up the bottom of the belly, then the middle of the lungs, and then the top of the lungs. If that is not helpful to you, and if you feel like you're not getting the maximum effect out of the breathing exercises, you can also think about that you have to breathe in or inhale for at least 8 seconds, so you will count by yourself for 8 seconds before you exhale. Another cue that can be helpful is to think about your lungs as being a big balloon. And you fill up this balloon when you inhale with as much air as you possibly can, and once it is full, we don't try to hold it. Just as when you're at a birthday party and you fill up a balloon with air, and then you let it go and fly out into the air, that's the same way that you would breathe in the deep breathing exercises. So we would first fill up the bottom of the belly, the middle of the lungs, and then the top of the lungs. Once we're full with air, we simply just let go. There's no need to force anything. Everything has to be natural but deep. But we should never force this breathing. Hopefully by this point you have found a place where you can sit as relaxed as you possibly can, or lay down. If you have heard all of the instructions, then we can continue. If not, you may want to rewind and listen to the instructions just one more time. In the exercise for today, as mentioned, I will first take you through the breathing exercises, and once you mastered that, we'll go a little bit more into a hypnotic exercise where we go into what we call the safe space. But for now, I just want you to think about your number one job in this situation being as relaxed as you possibly can be. So hopefully you're sitting comfortably or you're laying comfortably on your back with your arms by your side and your head on a pillow so that your head doesn't go from side to side when you relax. And as you're relaxing, I just want you to start doing what feels the most natural to you, and that is hopefully just breathing. And instead of just breathing as you normally do, what I want you to focus on is really trying to fill up the bottom of your belly, and then the middle of your lungs, and then the top of your lungs. And once they're completely full, you just let go. And once you feel completely empty for air, you just restart the process, and you breathe in, you fill up the bottom of the belly, you fill up the middle of the lungs, and you fill up the top of the lungs, and you just let go. As you're doing this in continuation, you may start to notice that you're sinking a little bit deeper into the chair or the bed. And you may even start to notice that your shoulders is sinking down a little bit. And as you're continuing to breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth, you may notice that you're starting to feel a bit more relaxed in your body. And what I want you to focus on as you're breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth is just how your lungs are expanding against your rib cage. They're making your rib cage expand. And once it's completely full and you let go, everything collapses, but in a pleasant manner. And I really want you to take notice of how when you're inhaling, it energizes you. And I want you to take note of how when the air is coming in, it's cooler, and when you're exhaling, the air is a bit warmer. And you're doing a fantastic job, and you just continue breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth, and really try to let yourself enjoy this process. You most likely had a long day. You may have a lot on your shoulders normally, and this is really just your time. This is your time to relax. This is your time to focus on yourself. And you're giving yourself that time, and you just continue breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth. And I want you to really notice how the breathing is affecting you, and you can even begin to visualize your favorite color being the air that's coming in through your nose, and how that favorite color of yours is slowly filling up your lungs, starting from the bottom and working its way up to the top of the lungs. And once your favorite color has filled up your lungs, you're exhaling it, and the color is changing to another color of your choice. And you're continuing to breathe, and you're doing a good job. And as you're breathing, you're slowly starting to notice just one sound that's in the room that you're in. And the sound that you choose is not important, but it's just important that you only choose one sound. And as you're choosing this one sound, you may start to notice more about it, notice things that you didn't know before. Notice its intensity, notice where it's coming from, notice what its intention is, where it's going, notice its frequency. Try to learn more about the sound than you thought you ever could. While you're doing this focusing task, you may feel yourself getting distracted and start to think about other things. And that's completely normal. Just when you notice that you are getting distracted, just gently redirect your attention back to the one sound that you chose. And the next step in this exercise, you're going to move on from the sound and focus your attention on one item in the room, and you don't want to open your eyes, you just want to think about an item that is in this room and really try to get to know this item more than you ever have before. Notice its colors, notice its weight, notice what temperature it might be. Try to see it from different angles. Really try to get to know this item more than you ever thought you could. And you're doing a fantastic job, and hopefully so far in the exercise, as you continue to breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth, you'll notice that you're feeling a bit more relaxed. You might even feel a bit sleepy. All of these are indications that you're getting better at activating your parasympathetic nervous system. You're getting better at controlling your nervous system. And if you feel like this is enough for you, you can simply pause the recording here, but for those who want to continue, we'll be moving on with the safe space exercise just in a minute. And if you want to continue with that exercise, then you simply just continue to breathe, and again, your only job is to be as relaxed as you possibly can be. And if you've been with us for this whole time, you're doing a great job, and you just continue with the breathing. And the next step in this exercise is to try to scan your body. You can scan it however way you want. It could be from head to toe or toe to head. And just really notice one thing in your body that you want to focus on. And it can be a pleasant sensation, it can be a painful spot in your body, but just really try to identify one spot in your body that you want to focus on. As you're focusing on this one spot in your body, you're noticing if it's static or if it's changing over time, if it's warm, if it's hot, if it's painful, if it's pleasant. Try to get to know that particular spot in your body more than you thought you ever could. And as you're focusing on this one particular spot in your body, slowly you're starting to feel like you're sinking deeper and deeper down in your bed or in your couch. And you're almost sinking through the couch, and what I want you to imagine now is that you're sinking through whatever you're sitting or laying in, and you're plumping down into a dark room, and in the middle of the dark room, almost in a spotlight, there's a door. And even though the room is dark, it doesn't feel unpleasant, but it's unbeknownst to you. You have never seen this before. And out of curiosity, you're moving your legs, first your left leg, then your right leg, and step by step you're getting closer to the door and to the spotlight. And you can feel that the closer you're getting to the spotlight, the warmer it's getting. Not unpleasantly warm, but just a bit warmer. And you're starting to notice the door. There's nothing in front of the door, nothing behind the door. It's just a door in the middle of the room, and you're noticing the color of the door. You're noticing what materials are used to build the door. You start to walk around the door, and you even run your fingers over the surface of the door and notice what the texture is. Notice if it's rough or if it's smooth, if it's made of wood or metal. However the door looks or feels is defined by you. And slowly as you're walking around this door, you're seeing more, you're experiencing more, and you're noticing more details. And as you're coming around again to the front of the door, you're looking at the door handle, and you're reaching out with your right hand and grabbing onto the door handle. You're noticing its temperature, you're noticing if it's soft or if it's hard. And slowly you start to press down, and you notice that it takes a lot of power for you to press down the door handle. But slowly you're getting it all the way down, and you hear and feel the click as you get the door handle to the bottom, and you slowly start to open the door, and you can feel that you need to use a lot of energy to pull backwards and open the door, but slowly the door is swinging open, and what you're staring into is a room with nothing in there. It doesn't seem unpleasant, but it's undecorated. And now that the door is fully open, you first take a step forward with your right foot, and you're noticing the weight on your leg. And as you're noticing the weight on your leg, you're stepping forward with your left foot. And now you're inside of the room, and you're taking one more step forward, and slowly the door behind you is closing, not to trap you, but to ensure that you are safe and alone inside of this room. And the room that you have just stepped into is not no ordinary room, it's a safe room, it's a safe space. And if you reach out with your right hand and open up your palm upwards to the sky, you notice that anything that you think of will materialize. You now have a bit of time to decorate this room, and you can put anything inside of this room that you want. Any items that you want, any furniture, any pieces of nature. If you want to bring any people into the room, any pets into the room, whatever you can think of, you can bring that into the room. As you're decorating this room, I want you to keep in mind that this room is designed to be only for you, in the sense that the purpose of this room is to make you feel safe, make you feel calm. And we don't need to care about others' requirements or desires when we're designing this room. This room is only for you, and you can put in it whatever you feel makes you safe and makes you feel calm. I hope that you're already in the process of designing this room. And as you're designing the room, I will encourage you to notice what sounds are in the room. If there are birds chirping, if there are people talking, if there's music playing. I'd encourage you to notice if there are any smells in there. I'd encourage you to touch some of the items. Have your hands go over some of the furniture or nature if there is any such, and really activate your senses while you're in there. Hopefully you are well into the process of designing your own safe space. I'll give you a bit more time, and then once we're done with this exercise, we'll slowly go out of the safe space. You can always come back, but I'll give you a bit more time, and then I'll take you out. So just make sure that you are designing it in the way that is the most comfortable for you and that you are activating your senses while you're in the safe space. I hope that you have had the time that you wanted to design your safe space, and if not, you can always come back. For now, I'd like for you to slowly walk towards the door backwards. And as you're walking backwards and you're feeling every step in your feet and up in your legs and how it's affecting your knees, you're slowly taking step by step backwards, and the door is opening automatically for you, and you're watching your safe space and your safe room as you're walking backwards, and you're maybe saying goodbye. And slowly you're taking step by step, and you're now all the way out of the room, and you're reaching out with your right hand and putting it on the side of the door and slowly close it. And this time the door is not necessarily heavy or light. You decide what the weight of the door is, and whatever weight it is and however much effort you need to use to close the door, that's how much effort you put in. And you slowly push it shut, and you continue to breathe, and you do 5 more breaths. And once you've done 5 more breaths, you can just open up your eyes and come back to the room that you're sitting in. And when you're coming back to the room that you're sitting in, it's okay to take a bit of time to recover. Most likely you're a little bit tired, you might be a bit relaxed. Your parasympathetic nervous system is most likely quite activated, which means that you may need a bit of time to get your energy back. It may need a bit of time to activate the sympathetic nervous system again. But this is an exercise that you can do every day, and during times of stress, during times of emotional dysregulation, if the situation becomes too overwhelming, what I'd encourage you to do is simply think about your safe space. Think about what sounds are in there. Think about how things felt in there. Think about what you smelled in there. Activating all of these senses can activate the nice feeling that you had in that space, which can counteract some of the emotional dysregulation that you may feel in a stressed situation. The more times you enter the safe space with the breathing exercise, the stronger the association to the safe space will be, which means that during times of stress, it will be easier to engage those neural pathways. I like to say a big thanks for joining me in this exercise. You've done a lot of hard work. You've spent almost half an hour working on this. Now it may be time to maybe drink a bit of water, drink a bit of tea, get your system going again, and enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you for joining me.